Early morning revelation. So it is the new norm for me. I was up at the crack of dawn praying and listening for God. I always think, God, if you have me up this early, you must need something. Especially when I'm up at this time and actually alert and awake, there's definitely a work to be done or a revelation to be released. There I was at 4 a.m. praying and reading my word, and God brings something back to me that I was thinking about earlier the day before. I recently started my summer break from school and have spent the week feeling horribly bored at work because with so many people traveling, it has been way too quiet and slow for my good. I began to try to get into my word, but felt like I was in a place of just not being able to get anything from what I was reading. I got to a point where I was going to ask my worship pastor to start sending me things here and there so I can use what she sends me to get into the word. Not saying it would have been a bad idea, but something was telling me to put that idea on hold for a minute. Then I began to read a few chapters in a book I've been reading lately. It's funny the things God will do to get our attention. As I read the book, the author began to talk about our quiet time with God. That we cannot be effective in public for God if we haven't taken the time to seek Him in private and receive revelation and instruction from Him. That came to my mind this morning as I sat in my bed praying. I prayed for a while and then simply sat there listening for His voice. He led me to my Bible, and instead of trying to scroll through a psalm or a proverb, which is always a delight and easy for me to read and understand, I allowed God to guide my hands to a passage that I had read before. This time, the words jumped out at me and gave me a simple but profound revelation that I wanted to share. God led me to Joshua chapter 3. Previously, when I read this chapter, something stood out to me, but I couldn't quite put my finger on it. This time it was made so clear to me. I wanted to highlight a few pieces of it. Verse 1 says, they came to the Jordan and lodged there before crossing over. Verse 3, after 3 days they were commanded that when they saw the Ark of the Covenant, they were to get up and set out after it. Verse 4, that you may know the way by which you must go, for you have not passed this way before. Sanctify yourselves, for tomorrow the Lord will do wonders among you. Verse 7, this day I will begin to exalt you in the sight of all Israel, that they may know that, as I was with Moses, I will so be with you. Verse 10, by this you shall know that the living God is among you, and that He will without fail drive out from before you. Verses 15 and 16, and as those who bore the ark came to the Jordan, and the feet of the priests who bore the ark dipped in the edge of the water, that the waters which came down from the upstream stood still and rose up in a heap, very from far away. Verse 17, then the priests who bore the ark of the covenant of the Lord stood firm on dry ground in the midst of the Jordan, and all Israel crossed over on dry ground until all the people had crossed completely over the Jordan. These people went to a river and camped out for 3 days, not knowing where they were going or how they were going to get there. This spoke volumes to me. Then it hit me. What God led them to do back then is exactly what He's asking us to do now in every situation and stance in our lives. God has taken us to new heights, places we've never been before. We have yet to pass these places. We get so used to God doing things in specific ways in our lives or in the lives of the people around us that when He comes in and tries to do something new, we immediately think it's a trick of the devil, or we fret because now we're in a new place and we don't know where it's leading us. God is saying this to us today. I'm taking you to a new height. I'm taking you to new heights, new places. Trust me. Don't worry about how it's going to happen or how you're going to get there. That's my job. Just camp in my presence. Dwell in your secret place with me and know that when it's time, I will lead you across the river and into your destiny. Stop looking to the left and to the right and simply look to the hills from where your help comes from. I will provide what you need. Don't let the devil distract you. Just as I led the Israelites across the Jordan, so I will lead you across what looks impossible and into your promised land, the place I predestined you to conquer before you were even a thought in your mother's heart. Will everyone go with you? No. But be okay with that. God knows who is meant to go with you and who will eventually cause you harm if they tag along. Ultimately, this is between you and God. Let Him be the one to guide you into all truths and into your destiny. He's the same God for you as He was for Moses and Joshua. Trust Him to take you to your destiny no matter how you feel or how it may look right now. Until next time, be blessed.